Hey everyone, this is Tino again for PHP Academy, and in this part we're going to look at a couple of new but very simple to understand tokens. Remember, a token is simply a character that you use within a regular expression. We're also going to take a look at something called character classes, but let's start very simple and look at a couple of very easy tokens. In the previous part you learned about what regular expressions are, and you learned how to use the dot token. That was all very simple, and the few tokens I'm going to introduce to you now are arguably even more simple than this dot token, because this might confuse you in the sense that you may think this is just a period character, whereas it is not, as you know by now. But these, they just have a very specific rule, I guess, as to what they can match. So, as you can see here with this \w token, the description says it matches any word character, alphanumeric, and underscore. What this means is that \w matches any letter, any number, and any underscore. So if you put that in this input box here, you see every single letter, assuming you have global turned on of course, every number or digit rather, as you can see here, and every underscore, but I don't think there's any underscores here, so let's just add a random underscore, and you see that gets matched as well. So that's very simple. Now let's take a look at the syntax though down here. You see /, which is the opening delimiter, I guess. Then you have a backslash. Looks a bit confusing. Then you have the W, so this is the token we're matching. Then we have another / as the closing delimiter, and then we have the G. So this already actually looks a bit confusing. You have a / and you have a backward slash, or backslash of course, right after each other. With more advanced or bigger regular expressions, this can be even worse. This is why some people believe that using the hash sign as a delimiter is a bit cleaner, a bit less confusing. Say if that was our regular expression, let's just pretend we can put a regular expression here. If we put \w here, it just looks less confusing. You don't have this weird notation. This just looks weird. So if you put the hash sign instead as the delimiter, it just looks a bit cleaner. At least that's my opinion. You're free to use whichever delimiter you want, but I'm going to use the hash signs when we start using regular expressions with PHP. Anyway, next token. We're going to look at this \d. \d matches any digit character. So essentially it just matches 0 through 9. So let's just put that in. Whoops. Put that in. And as you see, every single digit, 0 here, 3 here, and so on, they all get matched. Now remember though, once again, with regular expressions we're matching separate characters. If you're not doing a global match, so let's turn that off and let's put this down a bit and say the number 100 is the first number in our text. As you see, it only matches the 1, and that's because we are matching separate characters and not words or complete numbers. Okay, finally we have the \s right here. Now, unlike many beginners tend to believe, it does not match just spaces, but it matches any white space character, as you can see in the description here. White space consists of spaces, tabs, and line breaks. Now you'll find that tabs and line breaks probably won't be very common, but spaces are. So what if you want to match just spaces? Well, that's very simple actually, though you might not think of it yourself if you're just beginning with regular expressions. A space is just a character. So try putting the space in this input box here. As you see, the space gets matched here. Let's turn global on and you see all spaces get matched. It's that simple. Even though if you're just a beginner with regular expressions you might not think about it, if you think logically, and that may be a bit difficult if you're just beginning, it's actually very simple. Now, if you've been following along with this same tool, you'll have noticed that, or if you've just been paying close attention to the video, of course, you'll have noticed that there are uppercase counterparts to them. So maybe you might think that this has something to do with them being just uppercase variants of them and that they do the same thing. Or you may think that they perform an uppercase match instead. Now, for the \W, that might actually make some sort of sense, but it does something quite different. These uppercase tokens do the exact opposite of their lowercase variants. So the uppercase W will match any character that is not a letter, not a digit, and not an underscore. So let's try that out. Put \uppercase W, and you see we see here the spaces get matched, these star symbols get matched, these brackets here get matched, the colon, these slashes. So everything that is not a letter, number, or underscore gets matched. And it works exactly the same with the \D. You see everything get matched except these numbers. And the same with \S. Everything gets matched except spaces. So it's really simple. Now finally, I want to very briefly introduce you to character classes, or character sets, whichever term you prefer. I'll call them character classes, that's what I know. Essentially, a character class will match any character you put in that class. So, say we wanted to match only the vowels, so A, E, I, O, and U. We could make a character class by putting two square brackets and putting every character that we want to have within the class within these brackets. So A, E, I, O, U. Now, as you see, only the vowels here get matched. So say we want to match the N as well. Now you see also every N gets matched. So that's very basically how character classes work. You can do a lot more with them, and I'm going to talk about that in a later part. But also, for your excuse me, talking fail. For your own sake, put these in alphabetical order. You could do something like this, I guess, but if you have a much larger character class, it may just get confusing to you. If you need to edit it, you may not know where to perform that edit. Alright, so that's basically everything I have to say in this part. If you want, you can start playing around with this a bit. You now know a couple tokens, you know how to use character classes, you know what regular expressions are, so you can basically try to start combining everything you've learned, and maybe you can even start browsing through this list yourself, see what you can learn by yourself, which would be absolutely great. And you can try combining them to make your own, very simple maybe, but you can start making your own regular expressions. For example, you can do something like this, to match any word characters and whitespace characters. Just try something. It doesn't necessarily have to work, but you can start trying something yourself and doing things yourself. That's the best way to learn. I'm here to talk to you about how everything works, and I show you some examples. But if you really want to learn it, you have to apply what you learn in these videos, and you have to do that yourself. That is the best way to learn, in my opinion. In the next part, I'm going to continue talking about character classes and, well, something else.